Hello and welcome back to Art History 101. Since we have already covered the required pieces in our last 250 episodes, let's talk about some pieces that you viewers believe should be included in our College Board set. So we asked you guys to tweet out what pieces you think should be included in the 250. These are some of your responses. The first painting that we will cover is from one of the most requested artists, which is Dali. Many of you guys said how a lot of the artists included in the 250 did not have their most famous painting. So instead of choosing Persistence of a Memory, we decided to choose The Elephants, which is an oil on canvas. In this painting is said to be inspired by a Bernini sculpture located in Rome, which contains an elephant carrying an obelisk. This subject is present in a lot of Dali's work. It first appeared in a dream caused by the flight of a bee around a pomegranate a second before awakening. The elephants are seen as a symbol of strength and dominance because of their weight and power. But Dali, in a way, sort of contrasts this typical association with the elephant by giving them long and almost invisible legs. But he also, in a way, enhances their strength by having the elephants carry massive obelisks on their back, even though if you look very closely at the painting, you can see that these obelisks are actually floating. This painting depicts two elephants walking through a desert-like area, and there are two figures on the ground that seem to be announcing their arrival, and there's also a very small structure in the background. The elephants themselves create a sort of distortion of weightlessness due to their sharp contrast with their long spindly legs and their heavy upper body. This work by Dali can be compared to the two Fridas by Frida Kahlo, and they are both similar in the most obvious way that they are both surrealist works, but also they both depict an inner desire. Dali's is believed to have some phallic symbols, while Frida's shows her love for Diego and also her wanting to be able to be happy without him. The differences, though, is that Frida's work is more personal with her actual desires, while Dali's, according to Freud, is that his symbols are universal wants by everyone. Now on to the most important aspect of this show, is that why should this painting be included in the 250? Well, my personal belief is that though we do have surrealist works, it does not show so much of the dream world as this one. Like, I feel like everyone can be like, oh yeah, I've seen that in a dream. And also, Dali mastered surrealism, and I believe that we should learn and incorporate one of his works into the College Board 250. Now on to the next piece that we believe should be included in the College Board 250. We will be looking at one, if not the most famous structures in Asia, the Great Wall of China. This was made to protect against barbarians from the north during the Chou period. It first started as just scattered walls, and then in 221 BCE, when the Chinese states were unified, there were already natural barriers on the east and on the west, but not on the north, so they decided to connect the walls and also expand them. The building of this wall was not all happy and dandy. In fact, the reputation became a place of suffering since many people died. Most of the people who built the wall were not volunteers, and they were mostly slaves and prisoners, enlisted soldiers, and commoners. The wall averages to be 23 feet high and 21 feet wide, and it is over 5,500 miles. And there are some small openings within the wall which would hold archers to defend against the border, and there are also big openings where people would drop stones on incoming people. And it is one of the largest man-made structures in the world. There is nothing too similar to the wall in the College Board 250, but though this can be compared to the terracotta warriors from the first Qin Emperor of China. They're similar in ways that they're both meant to protect and defend, though one is meant to protect a dead person and the other is meant to protect a country. They both hold an army, even though one is made of stone. They're different in that the terracotta warriors are meant to protect and defend the emperor in his afterlife, while the wall was built for this life and current invaders from the north. I strongly believe that this piece should be included in the College Board 250, and it is somewhat surprising that it is not already. And it's strange how there are so many famous European monuments, but there are so few Asian monuments. It also shows that we have forgotten the true history of the wall and the amount of work and suffering put into it. And I believe it is wrong to leave it out, since this is one of the largest man-made monuments and deserves to be learned and appreciated. Now on to our next and final piece is one of my personal favorites, Park Güell, located in Barcelona, Spain. Park Güell originated in 1900 when Count Eusebi Güell bought a hillside and hired Gaudí to create a miniature city of houses for the wealthy. Basically, it was a commercial flop, and in 1914 it was abandoned. But Gaudí had already created 3 kilometers of roads, walks, steps, a plaza, and 2 gated houses. Eventually, in 1922, the city bought the estate for use as a public park. In this park, we can see Gaudí's passion for natural forms come to life, to the point where the artificial almost seems more natural than the actual natural. The entrance is guarded by a mosaic lizard or dragon, and inside it is laced with many pathways and also includes a forest of 88 stone columns. This park can be compared to the Yuanji in that they are both naturalistic and seen as places of peace and zen, and they both have a heavy emphasis on the incorporation of nature. But they are different in the fact that Park Güell has more man-made structures and has a strong emphasis on architecture, while Yuanji is mostly just like nature. I strongly believe that this piece should be included in the canon because it is very unique in style, and Gaudí is also a very famous architect in Spain, and I believe he deserves credit in the College Board because of his very creative designs, especially during his time. He even designed the Sagrada Familia, which is one of the most recognizable churches around the world. And it would be wrong to leave this out since it gives people a new look on what can be done with architecture.